Hello, Tracker fans. What's up? And welcome to the Tracker Justin Hartley live stream. I am your host, Nichelle Turner, and boy, do we have a special night planned for you. Tonight, we're going to look back at season 1 as Justin shares all of his favorite moments and behind-the-scenes insights from the series. Now, shut up, Nichelle, and let's welcome in Colter Shaw himself, Justin Hartley.
Hey, Tracker backers, how you doing? That's right, I'm excited to talk to you about my experiences on the set, share what I love most about this series with the fans, but that's not all. Throughout the night, we'll have trivia for fans to play along with, as well as a few surprises, including some very special guests, so make sure you stick around until the very end.
Stick around till the very end, but also we don't want you to just sit and watch. We want you to play along from home as well. So all you have to do, you see that QR code there at the bottom of the screen? Scan that QR code and you will be ready to play. Listen, but before we begin, Justin, any last minute things that you want to say to the viewers and the contestants at home?
I just want to say thank you, a sincere thank you to all of the Tracker backers, all of the fans, for the amazing reception the show's gotten. Thank you all for tuning in every week. I know you're busy, and I know that you will all love our new season. I'm really looking forward to its release. Thank you. Oh, and good luck on the trivia. Let's have some fun. That said, do what you want to kick us off.
All right, Justin, well, we're gonna have some fun then. Let's start at the very beginning, okay? What was it like bringing this series to life as an executive producer? How has your vision of Colter Shaw changed since you started this whole thing?
Good question. Well, we got the idea, Ken Olin and I got the idea from the book, The Never Game. So we had the character from the book. Gosh, when you bring things to television, you have to adapt them in a way that fits that medium, and then sort of going throughout the series so far, it's changed a bit as well. You know, just like anything else, you find things that work, that are really working well, and you try to do more of that. And maybe you find a couple of things that you thought would work, but for some reason or another, they're not necessarily working, and you kind of ditch those or do them as sparingly as possible. It's been a great joy. It's been a labor of love. It's been a wonderful thing. I've never had the opportunity to take something from the very beginning and build it, you know, all the way through the end. So it's been wonderful being a producer on this show, starring in the show, and being around all these wonderful people who make it happen. We have hundreds and hundreds of people that work on this show to make it what it is, and just to be a part of that is pretty special.
Well, you talked about taking this from the very beginning. So what was your very favorite part about filming the pilot?
I have so many fond memories of the pilot. We went through a time in our, as everyone knows, where it was everything got shut down and everyone was locked in their homes, and you were wondering, things that were in production, you were wondering if they were going to come back. And we were one of the first pilots to come back, and everyone hadn't been working for such a long time. So that was great to see everyone on set. Just to build this thing for a year and a half out, or it was almost 2 years, because I was still on This Is Us when we were building it, to actually step onto set and see the cameras roll and get cues for Colter and film it was extraordinary, something I'll never forget.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that stunt work in the pilot, though, because it was epic. I mean, hanging off the truck on a cliff with the kid that you were rescuing. Talk to me a little bit about shooting that sequence in particular.
So that was done practically with a stunt team, and then we did it on a stage where we were literally, they built a rig where we were literally hanging. We were maybe 10 feet up or 12 feet up. If it was farther than that, we had pads under us. It was safe, is what I'm trying to gather. But we were still hanging, and if you're hanging, you know, from a rope, it gets pretty uncomfortable. Your arms up there. It's just an uncomfortable position to be in for more than a few seconds, or if not a minute. That kid was great. He did it without any problem. I mean, he's no nerve endings. He's a kid, and he weighs like, you know, 30 pounds. So for me, it was a little more of a struggle. I have a bit more to hold. But yeah, that was great. And then our great stunt team worked together to just make this tremendous opening stunt sequence for our series. So I'm very grateful for that. And then throughout the series, we've managed to keep it up and throw in these what I think are incredible stunt sequences throughout the series.
And what I dissected from that is that Justin's really strong. All right, thank you so much, Justin. There's so much to dissect from this first episode that leaves us into our very first trivia question of the night. So let's get started. Okay, here's the trivia question. Number 1. Where do we first meet Reenie in episode 1? Is it A, while Colter is in a jail cell? Is it B, coincidentally at a cafe? Is it C, at their school reunion? Or is it D, at a party? What do you think? Where do we first meet Reenie in episode 1? I hope you guys are playing along. I'm gonna give you a second to get your answers in. Okay? All right, so what do you think the answer is to this first question? The answer is, we met Reenie while Colter was in a jail cell. All right, I love that. All right, Justin, in episode 6, we meet Billy, you know. So how did you know that Sophia Pernis, who is your real life wife, was perfect for the role of your tracker rival?
Well, I always sort of had this dream idea of including her in the show. Selfishly, I love working with her. I love spending time with her. But professionally speaking and completely selflessly speaking, I wanted to share her with the fans, with the tracker world. And she's such a talent and such a light and such a wonderful performer. And she embodies this character so well. I mean, we built it for her, but she embodies this character so well. I think it's kind of cool, like, you know, bring in someone from his past and, you know, dig up some dirt on him.
Okay, so towards the end of that episode, Justin, you both ended up jumping out of a burning building. Once again, the stunts. So what was that like?
You know, it's all done very safe, in a safe way, but it's dark. And it's a place that you're not used to, so you're not sure where the steps are. And then it's being filled with smoke, so you really can't see. But it's fun, and you're scaling a wall, and again, you're tied up in case you fall, but you're still scaling the wall. I love that kind of stuff, though, and as grueling as it can get at times, the finished product is always such a blast to look at. When you look at that and you go, wow, that's so cool. I mean, it looks great.
I just like seeing you and wifey together on screen. That's what looks great to me. Now, in episode 6, we actually start unraveling layers of Colter's past, since Billy is a rival, but also a past romantic interest. So can you talk a little bit about what that first look at Colter's past was like for you?
Well, I think it's something that you don't expect. It's something that you certainly don't think of when you see Colter Shaw and what he's doing. He's normally a man that's pretty calculated, he's pretty in control, and you just don't really consider the fact that he's got a past with this woman who may or may not have broke his heart, certainly affected him in a way that he doesn't trust her. Does he really ever trust anyone anymore after that? That's one of the great things about this character is, as brave as he is and as crazy as his life is and adventurous as his life is, when it comes down to it, and we can kind of peek at him when no one else is watching him, I think he looks an awful lot like us.
Mm-hmm. I like that so much. And I wonder, though, because at the end of episode 6, Colter has this date that he wants to take her on, right? And she basically stands him up. And Colter always seems like he's the guy that's one step ahead. But is this the moment where Billy outsmarts him?
There's no way Colter would know whether she's going to say yes or no. But he's going to ask her because he wants her to have a little accountability. And she did. She said she couldn't, and then made up this story about how she has to get out of town early. I think his approach is just sort of know that I know that something's up, and that's it, and to be continued.
Mm-hmm. To be continued, indeed. Now, speaking of continuing, is everybody ready for trivia question number 2? Okay, let's see what we've got for question number 2, everybody. Here is it. Who is responsible for the racehorse Argo's disappearance? Is it Will, one of the workers, Shane, one of the riders, Trudy, one of the staff, or Stuart, one of the owners? Who's responsible for Argo's disappearance? Give you a second to get your answers in. All right, and the answer to this one is Stuart, one of the owners. Stuart is responsible for Argo's disappearance. Okay, let's move on now. Let's get to episode 7, because this is the first time that we have seen you in the flesh with people on your team, and we get to see your chemistry together shine through, which is great. So what was it like finally getting to work with Eric and Fiona together and actually in person?
You know, the thing is, I don't really get a chance to work with anyone, really. I mean, it's a lot of phone calls, and when they're phone calls, they're not there. It's me and somebody reading off camera. So I think our show at its heart, though, is this lone wolf survivalist guy who is trying to figure out his own stuff and spends a lot of time alone. You know, my day as an actor is spent mostly with new faces, people that I've never met, guest stars that come in, and they've been terrific and just really prepared and professional and wonderful. I get to work with man, I just don't know if there's any other show like this where, you know, the lead actor gets to work with so many new faces. And I mean, it's like every time I turn around, there's another brilliant, bright, light, wonderful actor in front of me that I get to dance with. It's been a real joy.
Well, speaking of doing the dance and your team, Justin, it looks like that there are some special guests arriving with you. Hey.
Oh, I could hear them from the hallway. Yeah, they're very. So, and now you understand why Colter goes on these jobs by himself. They would hear us coming. We would never be able to sneak up on anybody.
No. There's no sneak attack.
Good to see you all.
Hey, thank you for having us.
How are things? Yeah.
Thanks for bringing these chairs.
Of course.
I know. I saw you carrying them. I was like, what was he doing that for?
It's for you. I carry chairs for only 3 people. Because I don't carry my own chair.
No, of course not.
But I carry your chairs.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah, that's a good-looking motley crew over there. It's really nice to have you all here because due to the nature of the show, you're all rarely in the same room. So how do you manage to have such a good, strong dynamic despite often working remotely with one another?
I feel like we've done some hangout sessions outside of work to kind of like, you know, cast dinners and things like that have really helped.
I mean, obviously it's all scripted, but you're right. When you're not in the same room with everyone, there is that you do miss that dynamic where you're looking at the other person, you're riffing off the other person, because you're on a tablet or you're on a phone, and oftentimes the way that we do it is when you're on the tablet or the phone, it's just a green screen, so you're not even there with them. They're not reading with you. But I think it's a testament to how well you know your characters, because you read this dialogue. And probably my character as well, and you can sort of imagine what that might sound like and what your character would be saying and how they would be saying it. And we're glad that we're able to pull it off. I'll tell you that much, because it either works or it doesn't, right?
Totally.
And I'd say also it's just the vibe on set is like very positive, and so like Justin and I have never been in a scene together, but like it all starts from the head, right? So it starts from Justin, the way that everybody treats each other on set, it just creates this kind of like community. So like, I don't know, it's just lovely to come to work, and I just think it's awesome.
In the makeup trailer.
Oh, yeah.
We get overlap.
I've never been in the makeup trailer.
Oh, please.
I woke up like this.
I slept
I'm in there longest.
You're
But
there.
I feel like I see you guys. I'm in there for like 4 hours.
No, it's like no, it's not 4 hours.
It's 6.
It's 6. 4 hours. 4 hours in hair.
They did a great job, though. Hey.
Hey.
I mean, you do have great hair, you really do. And Justin said that everybody knows their characters really well. That's one of the pluses of the show. So out of everybody here, who is most like their character?
I feel like all of us really have an innate synchronicity in many ways, and in many ways we are very different.
Well, I mean, I've never made tea in my life, so that doesn't track. No, I don't know. The caretaking part, I think, is real, even though like friends of mine might be like, that's not true. You need to be a better caretaker. But I think the kind of concern and the worry that like Velma has for Colter is very like, I'm a worrier. I know you can't tell. I know that's a surprise for everybody.
No, but you're right. The sweetness. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I think that kind of like that. Empathy or
Checking in on your
concern.
friend, saying, hey, I'm just checking
genuine,
in.
Yeah, you're a very genuine person.
Yeah, thank you. I hope you. I don't know. I get nervous.
What gave it away?
Y'all look like you're always having so much fun. And speaking of, I want to get to another trivia question for all of the fans at home. Is everybody ready? You ready for this? Okay. This question 3, coming in hot. Here we go. Who does Bobby know that goes missing in episode 7? Who does Bobby know that goes missing in episode 7? Okay, is it A, his friend's sister, B, a former classmate, C, an MMA fighter, or D, a neighbor? Who does Bobby know that goes missing in episode 7? This one's a little tough, okay? This one's a little tough. You ready for the answer? The answer is, of course, an MMA fighter. That's who goes missing. Yes, in episode 7. That was a hard one. That was a really hard one. But let's get back to Justin and the cast now, because like your characters in the show, I wonder, would any of you try your hand at tracking down missing people?
He would.
Yeah, absolutely. I have.
Have you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, of course, yeah. I'm usually the one that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, like somebody that like that you know, that like if you were concerned,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm a good Facebook sleuth.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, like if
Bobby.
and I need to find that tea, find that dirt on something.
You got it.
It's not about
okay.
finding anybody. It's like finding the hot.
You'll figure it out.
Let me
I don't
find
know.
birthdays. Let me find the comments, the questions. When were they born? Like I will.
I've got some friends like that too. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know where they are. They haven't called me a few days. They'll turn up.
No snooping.
No snooping.
Wow, that's great.
I really don't.
That's
I really
great.
don't. But then people go missing, and you know.
Yeah, like, that's why this took a dark turn.
Never get lost. Call Fiona.
Don't get lost at a Fiona sponsored brunch. Do not get lost because you will be gone forever.
Oh no.
Yeah, Fiona's like, you'll be all right. You'll turn up at some point in time. I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know. Anyway, what is next for each of your characters in season 2? Anything interesting you guys can share?
No. No, we're not really.
No growth,
No,
no
there's
development.
lots of
No growth, no development.
There's a lot of really cool stuff. I think the coolest thing for me is the relationships and how they grow and how deeper and connected that our characters get.
Here's kind of something cool. Where does Bobby go when he's not working? And where does he live? Who does he live with? Does he live with anyone? What's he do with his time that he's not in that little area, right? That little
His hidey hole.
His hidey hole workshop. I'm curious,
Yeah.
and I think everybody else is as well. Reenie has left her firm. She's starting her own company.
I've taken flight.
So that will develop more and more and more. And she's going to draw this one in, and she's going to divulge a bit, tiny bits at a time, things that lead us to believe that she maybe had a complicated past, childhood, which will inform a lot of the way that she interacts with Colter and his jobs going forward. And these two will become more and more intertwined. And then, and how all that affects Colter. So
Yeah.
it becomes more of sort of like there's a more of an ensemble aspect to our show, to certain parts of our show that we're able to show now that we have more time. Because you all watched.
Yeah, it's really cool. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I know you go ahead.
There was like, I think even in the first episode, there's we're setting up a Reenie's new office, and I'm there, and then Colter's on the phone, and then Bobby is on the phone. So it's like we're all there, and I think it just really sets the tone about how we're all kind of coming together. And I really think that it shows like how we're like this little family that supports Colter, but and I just think that was the first time that we were all in a scene together, even if we weren't all in the same space. And I just thought that was a really nice, like development.
Yeah.
It's just really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see how we all met Colter. That's something I'm really excited to,
And we will.
to dive into.
Figure out how we all met.
I don't need to see it.
Little fair.
I had to work. I had to work.
She still hasn't gotten over it.
I had work.
Yeah, everybody watching at home is saying, yes, in season 2, we start to peel back these layers. That's what we want to see. We need to know more. So thank you so much to our special guests, Fiona Renee, Abby McEnany, and Eric Grays, for dropping in and taking time to celebrate with us on this night. But listen, before the three of you go, any special messages that you would like to leave to all the Tracker fans out there?
Thank you.
This is the most amazing job and the most amazing response from y'all, and it's a real honor to be here and a gift to have this team, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Because
Yes.
honestly,
Thank you.
there's no formula. There's no magic that you just automatically know how something's gonna do. And I think that, we know we're a part of a good team. It's a good script, an amazing acting cast to be beside, but you guys make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. And without the fans, the Tracker backers, as I'm calling them now.
Oh, Tracker backers!
We found that. You know who found that for me? Chris Sullivan.
Let's go!
Oh my gosh, that's
I'm saying that to
hilarious.
everybody.
Yeah, Tracker backers.
Yeah.
But without people watching the show, look, I've always said this, you can have an amazing idea, an amazing script, you can have an amazing cast, you can have an amazing crew, you can have an amazing studio, you can have an amazing network. And if you don't have the viewers, then whatever that is that you have, it's so amazing, you don't have it for very long. So it's the only reason that it works, the people that watch it, the fans. So we appreciate all of the chiming in, the tuning in to know you all are busy. To ask anybody nowadays to spend an hour watching something is because people are so busy. So we really appreciate that. Appreciate the opportunity to entertain you, and we will certainly, you have my word, we will certainly keep it up.
Yep. Thank you so much.
We love the fans. We love the Tracker Backers. We love you guys. Thank you so much. And thank you guys, everybody out there, for joining us too, all the cast. We appreciate you.
Thanks, y'all.
You just pop by for 5 minutes and see you later.
Thank you for having us.
No problem.
We'll get out of your hair.
What a house party.
Be good.
Bye.
Oh, God.
Careful. Twist an ankle on the way out. Action star.
Action star. All right, everybody, are you ready for question number 4? Let's get to it. All right, question number 4 is, what does Bobby say is his strict code? What does Bobby say is his strict code? Is it no eating after 7 p.m.? Is it no snooping on friends? Is it not going out after dark? Or is it no running at the pool? Okay, I didn't mean to laugh, but that's funny. What is Bobby's strict code? It is no snooping on friends. Bobby says no way, no snooping on friends. Okay, now Justin, let's go to episode 10, because in episode 10, you were jumping out of a plane, yeah? So was that really you with the parachute?
I don't think that the powers that be would let me do that. We set up a really cool, I want to say it was maybe like 40, 50, 60 feet in the air, something like that, rig that I would fly in from. So I was doing that. I did the last part. The last part where you see me coming in, that's me flying in, but it was like 50 feet or something like that. You'd have to ask. I'm not sure how high it was. It was high enough to be flying through the air, which was pretty fun, actually.
I'm sure you wanted to do the whole darn thing. All right, one of the great things about Tracker is that it jumps around to different locations, which helps keep the series really fresh and new. So can you talk about the process of picking locations and what feels right for Colter's journey?
One of the cool things about our show is the location. I think we've managed to, it was important to us when we built the show, was to shoot in places or give Colter jobs in places that people don't normally go, or don't readily go, or maybe don't even really know about. Areas of the country or small towns that people have never heard of. Small towns are different. Every small town is different, and they have their own system. And I thought that is such a cool thing to explore and examine. And I think it's cool to see him in urban areas as well, because I think every big urban city has its own system as well. They're all so different. I've done drives across the United States, and it is absolutely outrageous. You forget. I do it intentionally sometimes just to remind myself how big our country is. I mean, when you go to Jacksonville, Florida, or then you go to Wyoming, and you go to Los Angeles, California, and you find yourself in Texas in the Panhandle, you go to Louisiana. It's like they have their own systems, and I just thought it was such a cool idea to have those locations be a character in our show. They're my co-star, really.
Yeah, all of the locations on the show are like a coaster, and I think that's why the audience loves it so much, because everybody can identify in the different spots that you're at. I love that. All right, everybody, here comes question number 5. Are you ready? I like that you're playing with me at home as well. Okay, question number 5 is this. What is Colter gifted at the end of episode 10? What is Colter gifted at the end of episode 10? Is it a new truck? Is it a fishing trip? Is it a day off? Or is it flowers? What is Colter gifted at the end of episode 10? This one's kind of hard. All right, you got your answers locked in? At the end of episode 10, Colter is gifted a fishing trip. Did you get that? Yeah, okay, that one was a little bit tough, because you could have said a day off, and you might have been partly correct too. All right, with all of that nature that he's surrounded in, I'm sure that finding a spot for a fishing trip is no problem for Colter. All right, season 1 didn't just bring dynamic locations, though. It also made sure to keep the viewers on their toes with every challenge. And episode 11 was definitely no different. So Justin, I hear that you are very good friends with Melissa Roxburgh. So what was it like bringing her on as your sister Dory?
Yeah, I love Melissa. Melissa's great. We're like real life siblings. I kept thinking about her and how great she would be for the role. I think she's a tremendous actor. I think she's got a lot of talent, a lot of skill, and a pleasure to be around. She's wonderful on set and a pleasure to be around in person. I thought, well, why not? So reached out and asked her if she would be interested. I kind of pitched her the character, and she was intrigued, and she said she would love to do it, and we dove in, and we were able to get her, and it worked out, and then we put together that episode. that I thought was really, really special and telling. Because every time you get those little nuggets from Colter's past, from his family, I mean, I think that's what makes him tick, right? All these questions that he has, these answers that he's trying to get. And when you can do that on camera with his family, that he's somewhat estranged from, and everyone has their own relationship, I think it's just wonderful. And I think it pays off. I think it as an audience member, when I watch a show, that's what I want. I want these little reasons to care, you know? We have the job that he's on, and we care about that very much, but also the family stuff and the family dynamic and all of the turmoil and all of the lies and all of the deception and the deceit, and all that stuff, and the love that was there and the reasons behind it. I think that's why people continue to tune in. That's why I do. So we're lucky to have her, and she's great. I had a lot of fun with her.
Yeah, I mean, and talking about family, because this is the episode that we also learn about Colter's dad working for the government, and we get some more secrets from his past. So what was the process like creating that reveal for the audience?
That comes a lot from the book-ish, and then also that's our writing team. They do a tremendous job in there, just coming up with these really great ideas. And I think, you know, one of the great things that they do in there is they're able to make something look a certain way, and it ends up being what life normally is once you poke around a little bit more and you realize why someone's acting strange or weird, or you have this idea of something, you start to realize that maybe your imagination ran away with something and none of that actually really happened. You just filled in all the blanks because that's what you do, that's what your brain needs to do as a human. So our writing team does a really good job of doing all of that, and then also redeeming people. So what is seemingly odd or kind of straightforward or whatever it might be, black or white, ends up being something completely different. Which again, not to be, you know, it's not a gimmick. It's sort of, if you think about your life, that's kind of what happens oftentimes in life.
Yeah, well, you know, the feedback from the viewers showed that they really enjoyed seeing Colter's sister introduced into the story. So any chance that she'll come back for season 2?
Yeah, that's the plan. The plan is to bring back as many of the supporting characters that we can, the guest stars that we had on season 2, to have them recur on our show. I think it adds to the fabric of the show, and we were able to get these really. One of the perks of being me doing this job for so long. You get creakier knees, but you do develop relationships with really wonderful, talented actors, and you can make phone calls sometimes and get them to do favors for you, like Jensen Ackles or Melissa Roxburgh or Sophia Pernis, that are fans of those actors come on and watch our show for them. So everybody wins. It helps us as well.
Yeah, everybody does win. And speaking of winning, are we all ready for question number 6? All right, everybody at home, let's see if you guys have got it. Question number 6. Who was trying to frame the student in this episode, and why? Who was trying to frame the student in this episode, and why? Was it the professor who was falsifying his data? Was it the TA who liked the student and was rejected? Was it another student from jealousy, or was it a rival club member? Who was trying to frame the student in this episode, and why? All right, the answer here is the professor who was falsifying his data. Yeah, if y'all got that, you're really good, because these questions are getting hard. And there was actually even more family that was brought into the story in season 1, because in episode 12, we get to meet Colter's brother, Russell, and he was played by Jensen Ackles. So you just talked about that and talked about him being a friend. So what's it like playing opposite to your friend as a brother on the set of the show?
We've sort of been like hanging out in the same circles for quite a while. He was doing a show called Supernatural that went on for like 37 years. I was on Smallville for a while. We were shooting in the same city, and he's a busy guy, and we never really got a chance to work together. Every chance I would get to work with him, he would be working on something else, and vice versa. The character's perfect for him. Again, it was one of these characters that our writers, it was taken from the book, but our writers expanded it and made it a really dynamic, wonderful character. And then it was great on the page, and then of course Jensen comes in and elevates the whole thing. So it's been a treat for me to be able to work with so many friends and talented people.
All right, so let's get into the vibe then about the dynamic between Colter and Russell. How does this relationship affect Colter?
Well, when we first meet Russell in our series, Colter has all of these ideas about him. He suspects that he had a hand in their father's death. And they haven't spoken in about 20 years. And Russell comes in under a certain set of circumstances, sort of needing Colter's help. Colter hears him out and agrees to help him with this one thing. And in doing so, of course, there's a conversation that happens between the two of them. And you know, what Colter thought was the case for all these years, he very quickly starts to realize that maybe that's not exactly how things went down. So that dynamic, their relationship altogether changes by the end of that episode. So, and then we have him back in season 2. So mix it up with Jensen again in season 2.
No way, Colter Shaw couldn't have been wrong. Could he have been? Anyway, but speaking of complex dynamics, because they really are, in the relationship as well, once Russell does enter the scene, there becomes this kind of love triangle that's going on between Colter, Russell, and Reenie. So can you talk about the relationship between these three characters, and will we see more of that also in season 2?
I think it's more, you know, look, I enjoy what Jensen's doing with the character. I think there's a really cool, and I do it with my brother, and I do it with my friends as well. There's a really cool thing that brothers can do. They can get away with kind of giving each other, you know what, more than most people can, I think. And I think some of it is just him wanting to get a rise out of Colter. And that's kind of in everything that he does. And Colter kind of does the same thing. So they have that dynamic. And as far as Reenie goes, you know, she's someone who I think Russell sees as someone who's very competent and capable. And I think he's kind of fascinated by that part of it. I don't know, as far as the romance thing goes, I'm not sure that's going anywhere. I think we have different plans for her.
Okay, that was a little insight. If y'all were listening at home, I think he might have answered that and said they might be moving away from that. Interesting. Okay, I can't wait for season 2. I am so excited and very excited to bring some more trivia. You ready? Here's a hard-hitting question. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, this is question number 7. What does Russell say is his future plan? Is it A, to retire on a farm? Is it B, to go see the world? Is it C, to open his own brewery? Or is it D, to start his own hair care line? I would literally just say D just because his hair is so good. But what does Russell say is his future plan? Are you answering? Everybody ready? Okay, I gave you enough time. The answer is to open his own brewery. But really, that head of hair, he should start his own hair care line. All right, everybody, we're almost at the end of this watch party. Can you believe that? We've been rocking and rolling, but we still have one more episode to talk about, and that is episode 13. It's the season 1 finale. So Justin, in the season 1 finale, you were on the water far more than in any other episode. Can you talk about then filming on location for all of those boat scenes that you were doing?
Our show is a lot of landscapes, and seeing this character in places that you haven't seen him before, I think is really, really cool. Like the skydiving, seeing him on a boat, seeing him in the water, surfing with a surfboard, you know, driving down the road in his Airstream. There's just so many different, you know, things that we need to see this guy doing. Maybe not swimming, but maybe, who knows?
So this episode actually also reunited you with your former This Is Us co-star Jennifer Morrison, and that was so much fun for us to see. What was that like? I
love Jennifer Morrison. She's great. She's everything that you would want in a scene partner. She's just a super talented, patient, funny, just a wonderful actor and maybe an even better human being. And again, another character that came on, and I thought I thought of her. I thought she could just crush this role. And we were lucky enough to get her. And this year, in season 2, she's directing. She's coming back to direct. So a lot of people know this. Some people don't know this. She's a phenomenal director. She's a brilliant, brilliant mind behind the camera. And we just got to talking about it, and we ended up having a space, luckily, and it worked out in her schedule because she's busy as well. Somehow it kind of just worked out, and she's going to come direct an episode for us. So we're excited about that.
You know, you've talked to me many times about how you've been there from the beginning, and this is really your baby. So let's brag on your baby a little bit, okay? Let's talk about what you do have planned for season 2 for us.
What can I talk about? You know, we start this season with it's kind of neat. So we ended first season with just a one shot, silent, no words. Colter just sort of going surfing. He's running out into the ocean with a surfboard, and he's kind of leaving it all behind. He's washing it all away just for the moment, because he just got this bomb dropped on him about his past and his family and all of this stuff. And now he doesn't even know who's lying to him or why they might be lying to him and about what. He's just in a complete free fall. So he decides to sort of wash it all away, and he's gonna go surfing, just be by himself for a little bit and deal with it later. And then we open up in season 2 with Colter doing this sort of a strange thing. He's breaking into a house. We don't know whose house it is. No one's there. So we start with that, and then we'll kind of revisit that as the season goes on, as well as what's in this box that everyone's hiding from Colter. Why does Dory have it, and why didn't she tell him? And what's his brother all about? Who's lying to him? What's with the mom? Where's mom? Is mom lying still? What's going on with this family? So we have to deal with all of that stuff as well.
That's my question. Where is mom? And why do I have to wait till October 13th to find out? My God, I can't wait until season 2, but I guess we're all gonna have to wait a little bit longer. One thing we won't have to wait for, though, is more trivia. We have our 8th and final trivia question of the night, and here we go. This is a really good one. You ready for this? Question 8. What did Russell make Colter lie to his dad about? Was it how Russell got a black eye? How Lizzie got in the water at the docks? How Colter made it home from school, or how the siblings found their dog? What did Russell make Colter lie to his dad about? You remember this? You got the answer? You locked in? All right, the answer is A. Russell made Colter lie to his dad about how Russell got the black eye. That was the answer. All right. We have had a blast tonight talking about season 1, but what about season 2? After all, we did promise there was going to be a surprise at the end. Justin, is there any news you can give us about the new season premiering this October?
Yes, in fact, I have an exclusive look at season 2 that I brought with me tonight for all the fans. So without further ado, let's take a quick sneak peek into Tracker season 2. I let myself in. Hello, Frank.
Been waiting for you to show up, harass me.
Well, you know what day it is.
I should call the cops. Breaking into my house, that's a new one.
I got tired of watching.
Yeah. Now what?
Found that.
What is it?
Dirt.
Why would you have that?
Remediating toxins in my backyard. You got any more questions? Or can you get the hell out of my house?
Not till we talk about Gina Pickett.
I said get the hell out of my house.
10 years ago today, she disappears from the Welltown Mall parking lot after her shift at Hot Topic.
I ain't got nothing to say to you or her whack job sister. And I ain't got nothing to do with whatever happened to her.
I don't believe you.
You know what I think? I think you messed up and didn't find out what happened to her. And you got nothing. And so now you harass me every year for the last 10 years.
I'll do it for another 10.
I'm sick of this.
Back here. I'm gonna prove it was you.
Ooh, that is one facet of Colter Shaw that we have not seen before. One of many, probably. We're going to be seeing a lot of this in the new season, though, and I, for one, cannot wait to see what other surprises await us. But please, comment what you're most excited about for season 2. And if you haven't already caught up on season 1 on Paramount Plus before the new season kicks off, what are you waiting for? Get with it. Okay, because you had all this fun tonight, so you're like, okay, now I need to figure out what all the hubbub is about. So go over to Paramount Plus and find out. Okay, we have one last surprise. Just because you all have been such amazing and passionate fans of Tracker, we are thrilled for tonight's live stream to be our first announcement of an exciting, exclusive experience in partnership with AutoCamp that brings you into the world of Tracker. If you want a chance to live like Colter Shaw for the weekend, visit www.autocamp.com/tracker for a chance to win the ultimate Tracker experience getaway with AutoCamp. So good. All right. Before we go, it's been a really close race all night, so let's take a look. Let's see who's going to be crowned the Tracker Trivia Champion. Let's see. Who's our winner? Our winners are... Clap, clap, clap. Abby. 350 points in third place. Congratulations, Abby. Second place, Marielle, 427 points. And first place, Cindy, 480 points. Cindy, you truly know your stuff when it comes to Tracker. So to all of you who have joined us here tonight for this event, from myself and all of the really good folks at CBS and Paramount Plus, we hope you all had a really good time sharing in the love for Tracker, Season 1. So Justin, any parting words for all these good fans out here?
Just want to say thank you to everyone, all the Tracker backers who joined us tonight for this event. Look, I don't know about you, but I had a blast sharing everything Tracker with all of you, and I hope you all tune into Season 2 when it premieres October 13th on CBS. Have a good night, everyone. My name's Colter Shaw. When was the last time you spoke to your brother?
2 days ago. I don't really know how this works.
I get paid only in success. I just think it's strange. Doors left wide open, cell phones left behind.
You on the job? Retired cop? PI?
No, collect rewards, actually.
You collect rewards.
I just want to help in any way I can.
Hey, Colter. We have a job for you.
Send me the info.
It's a bit of a weird one.
Never stopped me before?
Fair.
Situations like this, every second counts.
You find people, right?
I'm gonna do everything I can.
Making sure you haven't done anything stupid.
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, that sounded sus.
'Cause here I come.
Past is part of who we are. Doesn't have to define your future.
Got a long family history of getting in the government's way.
Colter's in trouble. I can feel it.
Billy?
Aren't you Mr. Popular? You notice I didn't ask about you and Billy.
Can we just focus on work? Not bad for a guy who collects rewards, right?
Not bad at all.
Tracker returns CBS Sunday, October 13th, part of CBS Premiere Week and streaming on Paramount Plus.